Welcome back to the final chapter in the story of Gallius Rax. Rax knew that he was finally getting closer to carrying out the contingency plan that was entrusted to him by Emperor Palpatine all those years before. He was able to orchestrate the rescue of Yup Tashu, Palpatine's former advisor, and he was slowly getting Imperials to turn on each other, killing off members here and there, who were discovered not to be loyal enough to the Empire. As a personal triumph, Rax had his old anchorite master, Kolob, captured and brought to his headquarters. He beat and tortured the old man, and revealed to him that he was that little boy once known as Galli, and that he had killed off all the orphans that he got to join him decades earlier, and that he was currently behind all the kidnappings of children on Jakku. Rax told him that he was destined for a purpose much greater than that of his foolish faith, and that now he was going to take great satisfaction in sacrificing Kolob to the dark side. Yup Tashu is not believed to be a Force user, but he was something called a Sith cultist, somebody who worshipped the dark side of the Force, and who studied and wanted to learn all of the powers of the Sith. Yup Tashu assured Rax that sacrificing Kolob to the dark side would be able to feed and give power to the spirit of the dead Sith Lords. Sloane and Wexley had made a deal with Nema the Hutt to take them to the secret facility known as the Observatory. Sloane believed that this must house some super weapon, but Rax and his troop was able to intercept them before they could make it to the facility, and said that they would make a perfect audience for his show. Sloane tried to order the stormtroopers to arrest Gallius Rax, but after months of grueling training on Jakku, they had complete devotion to Gallius Rax. While being transported to meet up with the Shadow Council, they met up with Hux and his group of child soldiers. Rax wanted to show Sloane the direction that the Empire needed to go in, and that they needed to think of children as the future of the Empire. He ordered that the lights be turned off, and the child soldiers attacked the stormtroopers, stabbing and beating them to death within the span of a couple seconds. When the lights were turned back on, Rax and Hux were both very pleased with the child soldiers, and he informed Sloane that they were about to witness the final battle of the old Empire. Orchestrating their discovery, Rax gave a final, rousing speech to the Shadow Council, and told the fleet and their military forces to prepare for battle. Shortly after this, an enormous New Republic fleet emerged from hyperspace. Once the battle started, Rax left with Brendel Hux, his son Armitage, Yup Tashu, and the group of child soldiers, as he went to initiate the final stage of the contingency from inside the observatory. Deep inside of the observatory, there was a borehole which led directly to the planet's core. By setting off an explosion in the core of the planet, Gallius Rax knew that the chain reaction would destroy both the entire Imperial and New Republic fleets. Palpatine entrusted Rax to destroy the Empire in the unlikely event of his death. Sidious did not want anyone else to inherit the enormous empire that he spent his life crafting. But Rax somewhat altered this plan and allowed for just enough time for himself, Hux, Yup Tashu, and the soldiers all to escape to the unknown regions where the Emperor's flagship, the Eclipse, was waiting for them. The space battle of Jakku saw the destruction of the Ravager, and with the loss of this superstar destroyer, the New Republic started to turn the tide of battle. Sloane and Brenton Wexley were able to break free, and met up with Nora Wexley and the terrifying droid Mr. Bones. This group went to go hunt Rax, knowing that he was making his way for the observatory. While Rax and his crew were making their way to the observatory, he actually has a creepy little heart-to-heart with Armitage Hux, Brendel's son, and assures the boy, who is actually younger than the child soldiers, that they were going to make their way to the unknown regions, where Armitage would help them rebuild the Empire. Rax told the child soldiers that this young boy would be their commander, and Armitage right away decides to test his power, as he orders one of the boy's soldiers to attack his comrade. At the observatory, Rax tells the crew to board a replica of the Emperor's yacht, the Imperialis, and wait for him as he descended into the observatory. Bringing only Tashu with him, they walked the hallways of this mysterious facility, whose hallways were lined with all kinds of artifacts from the old Sith Empire. Tashu knew how to perform the ritual, and he started to put on the appropriate Sith artifacts, and instructed Rax on how to complete the ritual. After a series of chants, Rax lifted up Tashu and threw him down the well which led to the planet's core. Absorbed into the planet's life force, Tashu's body ignited an explosive chain reaction, which consumed him and the Sith relics that he was wearing. Rax turned away and began to run towards the Imperialis, but he was intercepted by Rey Sloane. A brutal fight ensued, with both parties receiving broken bones, but Rax eventually got the upper hand and began breaking her fingers one by one as he was humming his favorite opera, the Cantata of Cora Vasora. Sloane's screams attracted Nora and Brenton, who came running to her aid, but were caught off guard by Rax, who was able to disarm Brenton Wexley and shoot him in the chest with his own blaster. Though in enormous pain, Sloane was able to tackle Rax and wrestle the weapon away from him, upon which Nora Wexley picked it up and shot Rax in the shoulder. Breaking away from Sloane, he was able to make his way down a hallway, and Sloane went to get the blaster from Nora, and told her to look after her husband. Chasing Rax through the hallways of the observatory, Sloane was able to shoot Rax in the leg and hit him on his other shoulder, shots which brought Rax to the ground. Once she caught up to him, Rey Sloane knew that she would finally get her revenge, and she shot him several times in the stomach. With Rax's dying breath, he told Sloane of the contingency plan and about the others who were waiting aboard the Imperialis. He told her that it contained coordinates that she could use to find the Emperor's Superstar Destroyer, the Eclipse. He pleaded with her that she would use these assets to help rebuild a new version of the Empire out in the unknown regions. On her way out of the observatory, Nora Wexley carried the body of her dead husband, and Sloane was able to activate the observatory's safety protocols, which helped to stop the chain reaction of the explosions set off by Yup Tashu. The planet Jakku was saved, and Sloane, along with Brendel Hux, Armitage Hux, and the child soldiers, all used the replica Imperialis and set their hyperspace coordinates for the Eclipse. The Empire's forces were defeated by the New Republic, and Masamida officially brought an end to the Empire by signing the Galactic Concordance, which handed over official rule of the galaxy to the New Republic Senate. And that's where Gallius Rax's story ends, with him succumbing to his blaster wounds and dying in the year 5 ABY on the planet Jakku on the floor of the observatory. So that's it for Gallius Rax. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button, and be sure to leave a comment down below if I missed any cool facts, or if you have a suggestion for future videos. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at MetaNerdsLore, so you can see us build Star Wars props and cosplays, along with some other cool Star Wars stuff. If you want to help support this channel, check out the description below for our Amazon store and our Patreon. And be sure to subscribe, because we're making videos like this every single day. But more important than all that, remember, the Sith would be so much more powerful if they would just learn how to share, and the Force will be with you, always.